It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
An awful debility, a lessened utility, a loss of mobility is a strong possibility. In all probability, I'll lose my virility, and you your fertility and desirability, and this liability of total sterility will lead to hostility and a sense of futility. So let's act with agility while we have facility, for we'll soon reach senility and lose the ability. Those lyrics come from When You Are Old and Gray by Tom Ayer, because it's August 21st, which means it's World Senior Citizen Day. So go help an old person set up their smart TV so they can see all the amazing movies we've been talking about. Also, we have a tribute to aging stars later on in the show, so keeping your hearing aids turned up. Joining me today are two men who are aging like fine wine and cheese, respectively. Pete Wright and Rob Cabasco.
I thought that was a Moira Rose monologue for a moment there. Hello, Kyle.
Huh.
Another wonderful aging star,
Right.
Catherine O'Hara. God bless her. Long may she reign.
Hello
Indeed.
there. You had me at virility. And what?
And that actually we can use legally because Tom Ayer put all this stuff in public
Yay.
domain. So thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Oh, nicely done.
So I guess my first question obviously is, what have you guys been watching?
I am still, I got to say this because I know we talk every
Okay.
once in a while about Ted Lasso. I am still in the afterglow of the Ted Lasso Christmas show, which you're probably saying to yourself, what do
Yeah.
you mean Christmas episode, Christmas show? Dude, if you've watched
Yeah.
it, you know.
Everyone I've talked to has been like, that episode was amazing.
It's the best. It's my favorite episode of the entire series so far, and that's saying something.
Roy Kent, man. Roy Kent.
Yes.
Extraordinary.
I gotta say, by that point, at this point, all the listeners are like, we've already seen the next episode.
Yeah, well,
That was-
go back and watch the Christmas one because you'll be watching it.
watch it
on
again.
repeat.
Yeah.
That'll be
It's that good.
that is a repeat thing. I will be watching at the holidays this year.
Yeah, I think that is an easy tradition. It's a lock on becoming a future tradition. I've really enjoyed it, and I will say, as an offshoot of that, they have Entertainment Weekly did a cover shoot with the Ted Lasso crew, and as a result, a whole bunch of behind the scenes and YouTube interviews and things have come out, and they do that YouTube pairing bit. And so they had Roy Kent, Brett Goldstein, and Beard, who is what's his name? Come on, you guys. Coach Beard. Anyway, the two, who is very, very talented, and I feel really bad that I can't think of his name. So I'm hoping that Google will come to my. Anyway, Brett Goldstein, and they're telling the story of like how they came to the show. And Brett Goldstein, Roy Kent, came to the show originally as a writer, and he was doing stand up, and he had this commitment, and they said, "Hey, we think you should come to do this show with us." And he said, "But what about my stand up gig?" And so he talks about like the grief of letting people down, but also Ted Lasso now. And so, there's a great Juno Temple does a paired interview with Hannah. Now I can't think of her last name. She plays the boss.
Waddington.
Yes, she's
Waddingham.
incredible, and those two are just the most likable, wonderful people in that cast. So I just, I have fallen in love with them as human beings, and
absolutely.
now that I have also fallen in love with them and their characters, it's just extraordinary.
Brendan Hunt was the name
Hunt.
we were looking
Thank
for.
you. Thank you
Brendan
so
Hunt.
much.
And yeah, Brett Goldstein's story is fascinating because he was a writer, and the more he wrote Roy Kent, he's like, I am this guy.
Yeah.
I'm him. And so like every time he writes, so he actually went to them, the producers, they're like, look, I know I'm a hired as a writer, but I am Roy Kent. And he actually, unsolicited, sent in his own audition, reading the stuff that they had written. And they're like, yeah. And so like the creators were like, yeah, we never auditioned anyone else.
No way.
You know what's great
Once we
about
saw
that is
we're like, no, that's
it's
who it
perfect.
is. And he's also a fellow podcaster. He has his own podcast too.
Can I talk about one that makes me feel good and maybe unjustifiably so?
Please.
Coda. What do you know of
Oh.
Coda?
Oh yeah, I saw the trailer for that. My wife is a teacher of the hearing impaired, so that like struck a special chord in our house.
Let me just tell you, just between the three of us, that movie, without any of the hearing impaired stuff, without any of the deaf community stuff, is it's a coming of age story, cute young adult making her way, finding out who she is, gets away with some of the tropiest tropey things in this movie. Like, it's just as predictable as they come, and they pull at all your heartstrings the way you absolutely believe they're going to pull at your heartstrings. So it's that movie. And then they add the hearing impaired stuff, the coda element to it, and it becomes transformed into something so much bigger than the sum of its parts. It is extraordinarily emotional. My whole family was just like wrought with all of this. He's getting away with stuff that I absolutely see coming a mile away, and I am still torn asunder by the way they are handling these things and the way these performers are delivering these things and the expressiveness of the ASL it's just extraordinary. I loved it. I cannot recommend it highly enough. And as a collective unit, my family, the movie's over, and we picked it for our Friday night movie night pick, and we looked at each other and said, maybe next Friday too.
Wow.
It was just great. Yeah. And I will say, the parents are deaf, and they are having sex in a house that they think is empty. The house is not empty. The daughter is in the house with a boy who they are practicing music. And so the discovery happens, and there is a confrontation between the parents and the two young adults sitting in chairs in their living room. Incredibly tropey setup. The funniest example of this kind of scene that I have ever seen, all in the hands of the father, who is extraordinary. Just as dads yourselves, I cannot wait to hear what you think about his performance, their marriage, which is absolutely aspirational. Marlee Matlin is fantastic, and what they are able to get away with in the hands of the father, who is fantastic. So I recommend it. I hope you enjoy it as much as we did collectively. It is worth watching. It's on Apple TV Plus.
Apple TV Plus has just been killing it lately. They sort of, when it came out, it was sort of this, it's prestige television because we're Apple, and it's like now after a couple of years, man. Yeah, like they're putting out some really, really high quality
big
stuff.
Money
they're
on
like
it too. Big money.
Yeah, let's say they're like the A24 of streaming services.
Yeah. I'll also just throw in a bonus recommendation for Beckett on Netflix, which I thought was really quite nice. And I've watched a lot of Netflix movies, badged movies that aren't quite so great, but I'm a John David Washington fan. He does a great job in this movie of being the wrong guy, wrong place, accidental action hero, gets the crap beaten out of him, and really nails that performance of just being a Joe everyman who gets beaten up and is running from unknown evildoers. I quite liked it. It was a really fun one. We did it on the trailer. It was a trailer pick some months ago, and so worth watching.
My 8-year-old sat me down to make we watch Vivo, which is the new Lin-Manuel Miranda musical on Netflix. It's good. Like the thing is, Lin-Manuel Miranda, like his music is fantastic. Like I said, it's a little bit by the numbers, so you sort of like, oh yeah, I've kind of seen this before, but it has enough new stuff in it that I really enjoy the time. There's some things that she's maybe watched that I've been sort of like, yeah, this is great. I just gotta check a couple emails, but this one is really good. And like I say, the song in the middle is probably one of Lin-Manuel's best songs. Like I was like, what? I was like, oh, I'm not really emotionally invested in the story, but this song is really getting to me.
Nice.
But it's also a little unusual in that he's a talking animal that only other animals can hear. So there's all these things where like it's a song that goes back and forth between two of them, but neither of them can hear the other one singing. So it's like a couple times I had to be like, okay, so he's saying all these things even though he knows they can't understand him. But can he understand that? There's like a little bit of that, the weird magic rules that I was sort of like, can she?
Yeah, well. Also, he's a talking animal.
It's fun. And, right, exactly. Also, he's a talking animal. So last week on the show, they talked a little bit about the South Park deal. Yeah, the big thing that went down with that. And so I actually had found an article from the Hollywood Reporter that actually went into a little bit detail in this. I'm not the biggest South Park fan. Like, I sort of liked it back in the day and stuff too. And now it's one of those things where, like The Simpsons, I kind of have to remind myself that it's still going. Like, oh yeah, I guess there are still new episodes of that, aren't there? Okay. But the thing I found amazing about this is that that those two, Stone and Parker, like saw ahead so far that when this was coming, like when they first made their deal with Viacom, because they said, hey, we want to put out South Park episodes on the web. And Viacom's like, okay, I guess we can do that. And so they signed a contract, and their contract said, yeah, so from now on, like anytime that anything goes up on the web, we get 50% of the money. And so Viacom's like, in 2007 went, okay, great. And they signed it. So from now on, from that point on, every time anything South Park went online, those dudes make 50% of the money off of it. So this whole time they just signed this deal, they just themselves made $900 million, like just in their pocket, like not to the company, but like themselves, like it comes back to them.
Wow.
It was one of those like, either like their genius moves or they just went, yeah, wouldn't that be a good idea? And they did it. But yeah, they have, so anything from South Park from there on, any deals that happen from this point
talk
forward,
about
they have there.
Skating to where the puck will be.
Right.
That's extraordinary.
Yeah. So like when all people are talking about all these things they're doing, like buying the restaurant and all that kind of stuff, it's like, no, they have a lot of money to throw around.
I was about to tell you, like, we're all going to Casa Bonita in like 3 years, because what that place is gonna be,
you guys,
Yeah.
they bought Casa Bonita.
yes,
I didn't know that.
oh yeah,
That's like a treasure
it was
of my
about to
youth.
go away, and so they're like, no, we're buying it now, and so they just bought it and saved it.
Oh my goodness! I didn't know they were. Of course, they're behind that purchase. They're local boys.
Right.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
fantastic.
I mean, you know, as much as they are like an industry at this point, but I kind of like that local, you know, like the small guy, you know, small creators making good.
Yeah.
You know, it's still just a couple of, you know, just like a handful of people making that show. It's not like a big industry in a world dominated by Disney. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like there's still this little outlier who are still, you know, making
away
and making money off of it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I saw that story and I was like, wow, go guys, go. All right, so in lieu of news and stuff, there's actually something that's been going around through pop culture that I really wanted to get your two opinions, thoughts, things on. The Ayer cut. So David Ayer has been talking a lot about like the fact that he originally had a cut of Suicide Squad, not the Suicide Squad, that went out. Warner Bros. Didn't like it. They took away from him, recut it. Studios do this all the time. And so he basically put this really impassioned thing up online saying like, look, I've been through a lot. I've done a lot of stuff. I did this thing. This is what happened. Life goes on. I'm done. I'm done talking about it. And it kind of had the opposite effect where everybody went, oh my God, this guy's amazing. We should rally for him to get the Ayer cut put out. It was just sort of the opposite of what the thing was. But I kind of want to talk to you guys as movie nerds. What is the pro and con of doing it? So like if you're Warner Brothers now and you have HBO Max and you're trying to get people to it, the Snyder cut is done, like all that is over, the Snyderverse is over. You have all this footage. I guess I'm having trouble seeing why there's a downside to Warner Brothers letting him back in the editing room with all the existing footage, you know, for, I don't know, what, $10 million or whatever it's going to be to like digitally restore stuff, put new effects in and send it out of the world. That seems like a bargain for a brand new DC movie. So I guess I'm not asking you to play devil's advocate, but I'm like, what are your thoughts? Like, why is it a bad idea? I guess because I don't see it.
Oh, it's not. It's not a bad idea. Well, no, look, here's the deal. They're not going to do what they did with the Snyder cut. Like, they're not going to dump that much money into it. And it doesn't sound like they need to either, because this sounds like his cut was a little bit further, from what I gather, is that it was at least or further along than what the Snyder cut was. So, and plus he's putting out, like, if you saw this, he put out an image of Harley Quinn and Deadshot like kissing. Mm-hmm. Like, right, which is from that cut. So he's clearly now fanning the flames of this, and I get that. I got to tell you, I don't know why they wouldn't do it. Like, look, streaming wars are going to continue. They're going to continue well into the next several years. There's no reason why. I mean, yeah, it remains to be seen. Like, did HBO Max get a wave of paying monthly people from the Snyder Cut release? I don't know. It's you're never really going to have that answer. But yeah, you know what? It's all anybody talked about from the announcement day, and then on the release day, And that's what they need. They need exposure to the service. And when you hear these rumors that they're going to, I think that January of 2022 sounds like a great time to release the Ayer cut, because there'll be an entirely new, from the ground rebuilt app for those of you who are on streaming devices like Apple TV or Roku boxes. That would be a nice way to say, hey, start your year off with a fresh take. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no.
Okay. So I'm with you practically. I see that, like, I think it's fine. I think the nature of filmmaking has changed. I personally might have an issue with, like, come on, man, call it done. You know, I sort of feel like, let's be finished and move on to new things. We know it did what it did. We have a new The Suicide Squad. We're moving forward. I think conditions specific to the Snyder Cut meant that re-release was meaningful in an emotional way to him personally and his wife, who might have gotten closer to the original cut had they not had extraordinary tragedy, befall their lives and their families. So I think there are sort of extenuating circumstances there that might get lost, that this was an individual human decision that had to be made. So my sense is the Ayer cut, I feel like we should be done with it. Practically, there's no problem doing it. Just it's fine if you want to release it. But I'm not in support of making it just a pro forma filmmaking strategy to release one thing and then get a do-over, right? I feel like we should just be able to move forward. And let's not forget that releasing multiple cuts of these DC properties, somebody at DC is starting to think, do you think this muddies our narrative at all? Do you think there's any issue?
No one is thinking that at DC.
I disagree. I think there are people who are really who are saying, look, now people are going to want the follow-up to the Snyder Cut, and we have to figure out a way to approach that delicately. It is a thing that exists.
Is the follow-up to the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, that's
there, and I have the money for it too. I guess maybe it's a generational thing, but like, we've seen this all happen before, because this is what happened when DVDs first came out.
Yep.
Like, there was a ton of movies got sort of weird director's cut. Last of the Mohicans had a director's
Blade
cut.
Blade Runner got 17.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying when you were saying all that stuff. I'm like, don't tell Ridley Scott you just said that, because how many cuts of Blade Runner are there? From the filmmaking side, from the studio side, then it's more bites of the same apple.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like the streaming wars are like, the DVD thing version 2, because you always want to have new content. You always want to refresh. And this would be a way to refresh all their stuff. I mean, I'm not saying open up the floodgates and let every single director come back and recut their stuff. I'm saying when there's an outcry, or when there's when the people are like, hey, we'd really like to, we'd like to see that. We would.
And we would pay for it.
Put money towards that thing.
I will continue to subscribe to your service if you keep giving me things that I've never seen before. And I do. I want to acknowledge that point, that this is not new. This is a new technology, has enabled us to do things we haven't been able to do before. And I think the only sort of evolution is that the technology has made it easier to do that than ever before. And so,
because we're even seeing post-release
the fact that Snyder is getting post-release editing. Snyder is doing this on his laptop. Like, he has the cut with him at all times. Like, those sorts of things make it easier. And I think, I guess the risk is, does that end up eventually sort of polluting the experience? And I tend to be, I guess, a classicist, an old fogey. I don't know, but
I see. I'm in the opposite camp.
Really?
Yeah, I like alternate versions.
My attitude is, you don't get the Lord Miller cut without the Ayer cut.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Oh, that's an excellent point.
That's a really good point.
Yeah,
You may be swaying me.
I would love to see that footage.
I would too.
So,
and multiple cuts of the multiple cuts. I am on the record as being a fan of the Snyder Cut and the Snyder Cut black and white version. Like, I really like both of those. Well, again, what a testament to how easy it has gotten to do these kinds of things, that they're just giving us all of these versions at once. So I don't know. Clearly, I'm of multiple minds on it, but I do think it's worth at least thinking about. And you're right. New service, new stuff. I'll take. I guess I'll take it. It's not like I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it came out, I don't think you'd be like, no, not for me.
Somebody has to be a curmudgeon in this conversation. Come on.
I know. That's why I wanted to talk to you guys about this.
Well, and streaming has made this all possible because even though we talk about like the DVDs, I mean,
Right.
obviously that's the way you get the monthly fee.
Yeah.
Because theater owners would never go for this. Do you
Right.
think, I mean, theaters, like without streaming, would we be even having this conversation? No.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do theater owners want to run the black and white Snyder cut?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah, that takes up 4 hours, 5 hours of
Exactly.
their,
Yeah,
right.
you get to run it twice
Yeah.
in a day.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I definitely get that. I think I'm okay. I'm kind of in support of it now. Yeah,
Ooh, we've turned him around.
yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Wow.
It's good. Bring it on.
That solo cut, you really that's what got you.
Let's get into our trailers. I was the first one to swoop in there. I found a down and dirty, nasty little action movie called Cop Shop.
I'm invisible. That's where I'm gonna be. I got heat all over me. I'm not telling you where I am. When are you gonna arrest me? One of you people, please arrest me.
You're under arrest. So why were you looking to get locked up, Theodore?
Everyone's trying to kill me. He nearly killed us. What'd you do? I did what I had to do to get to you, Teddy.
I really love these sort of like mid-budget. They don't make these anymore. These sort of mid-budget, mid-tier action movies where it's just like a couple of pretty good actors, a really good idea, put them in a room and let's see what happens. And this one, it literally is let's put them in a room because it looks like the whole movie is taking place in the course of 2 rooms. I think this kind of stuff, it can be like I think what Tommy was talking about last week about the geezer teaser.
Mm-hmm.
You can your fading star can come in and do this, but this also is a good way for sort of character actors to sort of really show off in a way they don't get to in sort of big budget stuff now. So what did you guys think of the trailer?
Gerard Butler has entered full Kurt Russell mode.
Oh yeah, this is
seriously.
Assault on Precinct 13,
Yeah.
right?
As soon as this trailer went out, I'm like, oh, this movie made 15 years ago? That's Kurt Russell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. And then is that Alexis Louder? She is from Black Panther, right?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yes, the actress who plays the African American actress who plays the police woman who's in that. I believe she is from Black Panther.
Okay, they said introducing, so I thought this might be her first major.
I looked at her credits and stuff, and
Okay.
so she's been in a few movies. Looks fantastic. Looks like tons of fun.
Yeah.
Great characters. The characters are all over the top.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Frank Grillo has
Yes.
4 things in pre-production right now, and 1, 2, 3, 4 things in post right now, and completed the Gateway, Cop Shop, and Once Upon a Time in Staten Island. This guy has a hell of a 2 years ahead of him with movies that have come out. Now, I've watched a few of them, and I will just tell you that Cosmic Sin is not the movie you want to spend your time watching. It is a geezer teaser with Bruce Willis that is stunning, and Frank Grillo is in it briefly. But I am such a fan of Grillo and his entire gestalt. Like, I just like what that guy brings to the screen. And so I will absolutely watch this. And I have to say, I cannot believe it took this long for this trailer to get picked on this show. Maybe because I think it actually came out during the hiatus. And so we just sort of missed it.
Yeah.
So
nothing that came out like in the time frame was as interesting to me as this one.
Absolutely. So I'm in. I think it looks great.
Have you seen Boss Level?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really
enjoyed Boss Level. What a fun, trippy movie.
Yeah.
Like, he was great.
So Rob, you're holding down the fort for Marvel Movie Minutes.
So I had and this is by luck because at the day we were recording here, 5:30 this morning, I arose. I had to go to the bathroom. Speaking of senior citizen,
it's a theme.
So let's just say I could say that. I'm looking at like notifications, so like new Eternals trailer drops. So this is totally fresh. And okay, yes, we've talked about Eternals before, but this trailer has a significant thing that you need to see in that it addresses the snap. It addresses Thanos. It addresses all of the big events from the last 5 movies. So I'm interested. Do we get answers? Not really.
5 years ago, Thanos erased half of the population of the universe. But the people of this planet brought everyone back with a snap of a finger. The sudden return of the population provided the necessary energy for the emergence to begin.
How long do we have?
7 days.
We're Eternals. We came here 7,000 years ago to protect humans from the deviants.
Why didn't you guys help fight Thanos? Or any war, all the other terrible things throughout history?
We were instructed not to interfere in any human conflicts unless deviants are involved.
By who?
There are moments in this trailer that are bigger than things we've seen. And I know when you talk about the MCU, that's not something you normally would say, but there it is.
Yeah.
It's big.
Are you going to talk about it?
Oh, wait. Did I just explain? Did I just do my explore? Okay.
What is happening right now?
So the trailer. Okay, so the Eternals, and I only know a little bit about my Eternal lore. Like this is not. I've tried to stay somewhat fresh on this, but basically they're ancient beings, very powerful. This is tied to the Celestials, and if you're familiar with the MCU, you know that you've seen parts of the Celestials before. You've seen it with Ego in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. You've seen it in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, the nowhere. That place is ahead of one of the Celestials. So we've seen this kind of stuff. It's a great cast. Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, a whole bunch of great people. The question that everyone had leading up to this in the trailer is it shows them all sort of coming together and not only coming together, but asking these questions of, well, you know, we've been protecting this place. We've been here for 7,000 years. 7,000 years is important because that's basically about the length of recorded human history. So there's obviously some connection to what they've been with in terms of us as humanity. And they go into these quick edits of, well, when Thanos wiped out everybody, first of all, there's this one great line in the trailer where they acknowledge that, look, the people of this planet, they're the ones who brought everybody back. Like they had the guts to do it. And I thought, okay, that's cool. And not only they do it, but we couldn't get involved, which is amazing to hear this in the trailer because that blows one of the theories that a lot of people had about the movie was that somehow the Eternals had their minds wiped and didn't know what was going on. Yeah. This trailer, you almost could tell that they edited this trailer specifically to deal with fan assumptions because one, everyone's wondering, why weren't they getting involved during the Thanos events? And you get that answered in this, and you also realize that no, they've known everyone. They've just been secluded in different parts of the earth. So you get an answer, and in the trailer they have this thing where there's a character that's asking, why did you not get involved? And I think it's Angelina Jolie or Salma Hayek's character replies back with, well, we couldn't because we weren't allowed to. And then there's the question, the big question in the trailer is who did you that? And there's no answer.
Right.
But then it cuts to that big robot in the space.
The Celestial.
Yeah.
The Celestial. And that's the Celestial. There's the big, with the red, all the, like the 6 lights on the face, which I think we've seen that in Guardians. I think that was in a flashback. Maybe it wasn't that particular Celestial, but something close. And then there's this whole storyline of deviance, which I'm just going to say, I got confused initially because I'm like, wait, are they talking about variants?
They're talking about me.
Deviant. Totally different.
Yeah. Wait, variant or deviant? No, never mind. So
he's a deviant variant. Very rare.
So there's that. You just see some really, like I said, these big moments of things happening. I mean, matter and reality shifting and changing. And then it sort of just ends with this idea that there's the battle. I mean, you kind of get a little bit more of the storyline, I think, in that We're involving deviants. The deviants are been reawakened by returning everyone back to the Earth from the Hulk snap.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a result, now that's why we have problems. Was that enough?
That was great, Rob. Thanks.
Oh, and there's an IKEA reference.
Yeah.
Post-title card.
That was pretty good.
Product placement.
I liked it.
Yeah, what did they pay for that in a trailer?
This movie is still very much a curiosity to me because I have no connection to the property and don't know anything about what's going on. I feel like Tommy does all the time. And so I'm excited about it for that level. Like I'm excited about going into to see something where I'm pretty fresh. So it looks good. It's beautiful. It's sure beautiful.
Yeah.
That Angelina Jolie,
it really is.
when she comes around and does her staff and shield thing and the gold leaf sort of winds its way, that's gorgeous. That is some beautiful
I like
art.
how they're showing their powers different than everybody else's. That sort of that gold lattice that goes around them in different ways.
Yep.
I think that's a cool way of connecting all of them together and also making it different from the sort of energy blasts and things that we've seen from different characters.
And we get 2 Starks. Well, we get a Stark and a half. Jon Snow and what's his name? The oldest boy.
The oldest boy.
You know, the oldest Game of Thrones. Come on.
Yeah.
What is his name?
Yeah, I'm glad we finally sort of now starting to get a plot. Like the first one was great for atmosphere in terms of like the aliens coming down and primitive Earth and that kind of stuff and some jokes, and you're like, yeah, but what, why, who, when? And so now we're starting to get the idea of like, oh, okay, so they've been here, they were uninvolved, they've separated, now the family has to come back together and deal with this new threat, and it's like, oh, okay, I sort of now I understand the basic structure of what this movie is going to be interweaved through the MCU. But yeah, I was excited about it before, but seeing how gorgeous it looks. Like now seeing finished or nearly finished effects, I can't wait to see what they do. I'm also a little bit nervous too because I'm like this is deep Marvel lore. I mean this is Jack Kirby. This is real hardcore stuff. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do to sort of convert that to make it accessible to the masses because there's some weird stuff deep buried in the comic book MCU.
There's a reason it has stayed buried deep. In other words, it's Richard Madden, Rob Stark. Come on, you guys.
Oh, okay.
Richard Madden and Kit Harington. Little read, just a little one. So is it my turn?
It is your turn. So
speaking of geriatric action movies,
oh man,
I don't know when it was that I sort of discovered that I would take Tom Skerritt as at least a close uncle in my own family. But I was a young lad, and I have since tried to keep up with the things that Tom Skerritt does. I think he is a charming and wonderful person, and I really I don't know about him as a person. I don't want to make any, but I like the people he portrays on film. I think he's an interesting performer, a really interesting actor, and in East of the Mountains, he is taking the principal role in an adaptation of the novel by David Gutterson.
Hi, Dad, it's Renee. I'm just not feeling that great about this trip that you want to take all alone.
Are you from around here?
Oh, I used to be.
Some snacks for later.
You sure you're gonna be all right out there?
I'm gonna be fine.
I'm just concerned about your health.
I'm not sure my health is your business.
Get off! Your dog was gonna rip my dog's throat out.
You do these one-handed?
I did.
You a doctor or something?
I was. I've got a year if I don't take treatment.
You don't know what's gonna happen.
But I do. Bed sores and bone fractures, dehydration, a sensation of being strangled at the end, and a final drip of morphine. That's what's gonna happen. I know exactly what's gonna happen. If 25 letters.
He is in this movie a retired heart surgeon, and he goes out in the woods to, I don't know, sow his own oats. He's got some things going on with him health-wise, and he needs to go shoot some stuff to get it over with. It's a small cast. It's nice to see Mira Sorvino pop up in here as his daughter, and we have some other perhaps nefarious actors in the film as well. I don't know what they're doing, but there's a dog attack apparently in the trailer, and people are sometimes not nice to each other. And again, health mystery. I am really curious how a lot of this unravels, but mostly I think it's a performance movie in a beautiful landscape. And so I'm in for this kind of film. It looks like something that might be a nice, action tease meditation film. So I'll take it. What do you guys think?
Okay, so here's the crazy thing. All of that. I'm glad you mentioned the landscapes because yes, gorgeous. It looks riveting. I'm excited. Love Tom Skerritt. Today, this Saturday, when you're listening to this, if you're listening to it on this Saturday, Tom Skerritt turns 88 years old on Wednesday.
Wow. Happy birthday, Tom.
August 25th. Happy birthday. Let me just tell you right now, stop if you need to, go watch the trailer. That is a near 88-year-old man.
Yeah.
Congratulations, sir.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
that's it.
What time? At 8 p.m. he bursts into flame and goes back to 1952?
I mean, right? Because what?
Anyway.
No.
Kyle, what'd you think?
Yeah. I was thinking there's another star of that same generation who just put out a trailer, and he's not as put together as Tom Skerritt is looking these days. So it's interesting to see people that you don't really think about or don't get a lot of roles and stuff. And so Tom Skerritt shows up on the screen, and you're like, oh, it's Tom Skerritt. And then Mira Sorvino, you're like, oh, it's Mira Sorvino. There's a lot of these actors out there that you have strong feelings on, but they just don't get a lot of work. Or they don't want to work a lot, which is equal. But then you show up on screen and you go, "Oh, good,
yeah!"
Like they get to do something. Hooray!
Yeah.
It's just, I'm interested to see sort of even the two of them together. That's going to be fun too. And he's one of our best leading actors out there.
This film is. I haven't seen any of the films from director S.J. Chiro. She's a producer and she's done a bunch of shorts. This looks to be her first feature film. And so, who knows what we're going to get out of this, but she's written Lane 1974, Howard from Ohio, The Epiphany, all shorts that I haven't seen. So I'll be curious to see sort of what comes of that. The thing is written by Thane Swigert, who wrote Furious Angel and Buried Heart, and John Frum looks like was a writer on all of these things. But right now, it looks like this was the big first screenplay by Thane Swigert. So we've got a lot of new coming into this movie, and so I'm always eager to see, where the new talent comes from. Because, a guy like Tom Skerritt, you wanna show him off good, like a shiny new penny.
Three different tastes. So for our trailers this week. So I think hopefully you'll find something that you enjoy in there. All right, so I put together a small game for you two gentlemen, and it goes along with the theme that has been developing here, because I think one thing we can agree on is that no one has done more for senior citizen leading men than Liam Neeson. Since his appearance in Taken, it has opened up a wide variety of roles for men in the autumn of their lives, and given Liam a whole lot of work. But the question is, can you tell a Liam Neeson movie from other aging star vehicles?
Oh, no!
We're about to find out in a heavily edited slam-bang action film called Ow, My Knees! So, here's how it works.
No.
Everything you're about to hear are real. These are all real movies. I have gone to IMDb and pulled their synopses from them and put them in. Each question will have 3 movies in them. 2 of them star Liam Neeson, and 1 of them does not. So your goal is to figure out which one did not star Liam Neeson. And for a bonus point, can you tell me what movie star is starring in that one? And I can say they are movie stars. So there's Frank Grillo is not the lead in any of these things. These are all real movie star movies.
Okay.
Are we working as a team?
No, you are competing.
Oh, no.
So who would like to go first?
Rob said, me.
Okay. Here we go. First question. Okay, so I'm going to read 3 synopses. You're going to tell me which one does not star Liam Neeson.
Okay, here we go. All right, here we go.
All right,
okay.
First one. An air marshal springs into action during a transatlantic flight after receiving a series of text messages demanding $150 million into an offshore account or someone will die every 20 minutes. That's A. B. A grieving snowplow driver seeks out revenge against the drug dealers who killed his son. Or C. A bank manager haunted by a violent heist that took the life of a coworker teams up with his ex-cop neighbor to bring down the assailant, initiating an explosive counterattack that brings all 3 men to the breaking point. Which one of those does not star Liam Neeson?
I'm just going to say, I know B. B is definitely Liam Neeson.
Oh, okay.
But that I know for sure. I am not sure.
The snowplow driver, you were like, oh yeah, Liam Neeson.
Yeah, done. Know that. Okay. The A and the C, I'm not sure, but I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to go with C because Liam Neeson teams with no one. So I'm going to just say C is the one without Liam Neeson.
And you are correct.
Oh.
For a bonus point, can you tell me what aging star is the star of that one? I can read it again. I can, and I'll give you I can give you the title as well. Because for the bonus, why not? A bank manager haunted by a violent heist that took the life of a coworker teams up with his ex-cop neighbor to bring down the assailant, initiating an explosive counterattack that brings all 3 men to the breaking point in Reprisal.
That's a made-up movie.
Didn't help much.
You just made that all up.
That didn't help at all. No.
You just wrote that movie.
In fact,
Took
it
you
hurt.
45
It
minutes.
actually hurt now because now I don't. Mickey Rourke. No, I don't.
No,
it's not Tom Skerritt, is it? That would break my heart.
No, it wasn't Tom Skerritt. No, actually, it was John McClane himself, Mr. Bruce Willis.
Oh, that does check out. He'll do anything right now. Have you seen Cosmic Sin?
What? No.
It was funny you mentioned that because I was like, it's not on my list, but I was like, that did come up as I was going through these things. All right, Pete.
Okay, that was awesome.
Number 2.
And you didn't say,
you.
because so the snowplow one, was that Cold Pursuit?
Oh, yes. You want me to do that? Okay, yes. The grieving snowplow driver is Cold Pursuit. Yeah. And the air marshal one is Nonstop.
Okay.
Yeah. So some of these are actually like were big releases.
That was a big one. So that one I knew.
I'm not doing super obscure ones.
Okay.
Just by that. Okay. So Pete, to you. All right. So we've got your 3. A sniper on a mercenary assassination team kills the Minister of Mines in the Congo. His successful kill forces him into hiding. Returning to the Congo years later, he becomes the target of a hit squad himself.
Okay.
B. A private investigator is hired by a drug kingpin to find out who kidnapped and murdered his wife. Some weird article choices in that synopsis there. Or C. Wanting to lead an honest life, a notorious bank robber turns himself in only to be double-crossed by 2 ruthless FBI agents. Which one does not star Liam Neeson?
Hasn't he done like 50 bank robber movies?
Seems like it, doesn't it?
So the sniper one I know. I think I'm gonna go with the bank robber. I'm gonna go with B. B does not have Liam.
Well, C was the bank robber.
What was B again?
Yeah. B was the private investigator.
I'm gonna go with the private investigator. That was the one that I first, when you read it, I thought, I can't come up with anything for that, but I can come up with something for the first and the third.
Okay.
So let's go with B.
B. All right. You are incorrect. Because
was it
B
C?
was A Walk Among the Tombstones. But I'll still let you try for the bonus point. So the actual non-Liam one was A.
That was the non-Liam
That was
one?
the non-Liam Neeson. That is not Liam Neeson. A sniper on a mercenary assassination team killed. This is going to be great when I tell you the name of this movie. Oh, this is going to be fun. A sniper on a mercenary assassination team kills the Minister of Mines of the Congo. His successful kill shot forces him into hiding. Returning to the Congo years later, he becomes the target of a hit squad himself in The Gunman.
Do you know what's funny? What I had in my head immediately was The Marksman.
Oh,
which was a Liam Neeson movie.
I think that might be on the list here somewhere.
Just brand new. Because I just watched that and Ice Road Trucker, the ice trucker.
Cold Vengeance.
Yeah, Cold Pursuit.
The Gunman.
It's the what is the title of the person he kills?
Oh, the Minister of Mines of the Congo.
I thought you said Minister of Mines.
That would be a much better movie.
Okay.
The question is,
all right,
did he
so
use a silencer?
I screwed the pooch on that one.
All right. Can you tell me who the gunman is for a bonus point?
The gunman. No, I have never even heard of that movie.
Okay.
Of course I cannot.
That would be, I believe, Academy Award winner Sean Penn.
Oh,
of course.
I'm not sure actually if he's done there or not.
Of course.
Okay, Rob, to you.
I'm looking at the gunman now. I should totally have known this. Javier Bardem and Mark Rylance and Ray Winstone and Idris freaking Elba.
Yeah.
I can't even place that movie.
Okay, Rob. All right. A mobster hitman has one night to figure out where his loyalties lie with his estranged son, whose life is in danger, or his longtime best friend, who wants him to pay for the death of his own son. B, a crime thriller that centers on a man whose memory has been lost due to a bank heist gone wrong. The character will need to piece together the missing 10 minutes of his memory in order to determine who sabotaged him. Or C, a rancher on the Arizona border becomes the unlikely defender of a young Mexican boy desperately fleeing the cartel assassins who pursued him into the U.S., which is not a Liam Neeson movie.
I have no idea, but I want to say C because I don't know how you put Liam Neeson on the border. That doesn't seem like that would work, but it could be. What's B again?
B is the crime thriller about a person who's missing 10 minutes of their memory.
I guess Liam Neeson could do like, Amnesia.
Well, let's just say Liam Neeson can do anything.
We can do anything. Oh,
he was Rob Roy, for God's sakes.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he was in Ted, or Ted 2. I forget. It doesn't matter.
I think he was in both. Actually,
actually. No, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with my gut. C. He's not in C.
Pete, would you like to tell him?
Oh, what? What is it?
It's the Marksman.
It's the Marksman. We just talked about it in the last one.
I just called the shot.
You did.
He read it. I was like, oh,
yes,
that's the movie. It wasn't the Congo. It's Mexico.
That's right. It's the Marksman starring Liam Neeson. Yes, he does. I don't know if he does an American accent, but now I really want to find out.
What was the second
fake one was the 10 minutes one. So it's actually a crime thriller called 10 Minutes Gone.
You son of a! You threw me off because as soon as I was gonna when I said Amnesia and you were like he can do anything. Oh well, then I'm back to my gut choice.
He can do anything, including playing an American sniper in Arizona. So you want to take a shot at who might have 10 minutes of his memory missing?
Doesn't matter. No, it
totally matters because I think there should be, if there isn't yet, there should be a theme, and I'm going to start guessing that it's Bruce Willis for every one of them.
That almost does, right?
I've never even heard of 10 Minutes Gone. What is that? It's not even a thing, but I saw Cosmic Sin, and so I'm going to go.
The movie? The movie is 10 Minutes Gone?
The movie is called 10 Minutes Gone.
Oh, I don't know.
I think the lesson that you should learn from this, Rob, is listen to Pete because it was Bruce Willis.
No way!
Are you being serious?
Yes. 10 Minutes Gone is a Bruce Willis movie.
No, it is not.
Okay.
Do you know what? I'm losing this game, but I don't care. I still feel like
you're winning. You're winning.
You're only losing by 1 point because there's only been 1 point.
Let's not look at points. You're winning. Right. Trust me.
So, so the last one of this round. There's 2 rounds. So this is the last one of this round.
Okay.
Because next day things get really crazy. All right. So Pete, to you. So which one does not star Liam Neeson? Is it A, an action thriller in which an insurance salesman / ex-cop is caught up in a life-threatening conspiracy during his daily commute home? B, in a last-ditch effort to stop a diabolical plot, a dead CIA operative's memories, secrets, and skills are implanted into a death row inmate in hopes he will complete the operative's mission? Or C, after a remote diamond mine collapses in far northern Canada, a big reed ice road trucker must lead an impossible rescue over a frozen ocean to save trapped miners. Which one does not star Liam Neeson?
B.
Oh, you know what it is? You know what that movie is?
Yes.
Okay.
No, wait, I don't know what B is, but I know the ice road and I know the commuter.
Ah, okay, so process of elimination. You are correct. It is a movie called Criminal. Can you tell me who the lead of Criminal is?
Can you give me a year?
No.
Because Criminal sounds pretty generic.
But these are all post-Taken movies, I can tell you. So everything it would have been the last. Yeah, this is during the time of the next reel, because we're celebrating our 10th anniversary. During the time of the next reel being around, these have all been released.
Well, I'm gonna say, of course, I'm gonna say Bruce Willis.
Oh, that would be a good time, but no, it is in fact.
Oh wait, can I guess? Can I guess?
Guess.
Nicolas Cage.
No, it is actually Kevin Costner. However, all of those names are going to be important in round 2 because round 2 is called Nick, Mel, Pierce, or Bruce. I'm going to give you 4. I'm going to each give you a synopsis, and you're going to tell me: is it Nicolas Cage, Mel Gibson, Pierce Brosnan, or Bruce Willis?
Awesome.
Great. All right, so I will give 2 points if you get it correct, and then 1 point if you can steal, because you already have one eliminated, so it makes it easier. So, Rob. A Wall Street broker is forced to evade police chief investigating a bank robbery as he attempts to recover the stolen money in exchange for his son's life in First Kill. Starring...
Oh, I was going to say Mel, because that's a different Mel Gibson movie involving a son and ransom. Or no, and I don't know. Wait, I said too much. Pierce. I don't know. Pierce.
Oh, it is not Pierce. Can you steal it, Pete?
Well, of course. I think you know where I'm going to start. I'm going to roll the dice on Bruce Willis.
Bald is beautiful. Yes, it is Bruce Willis.
Dude.
Are you serious?
Oh, my God. What is this movie even like? Oh, God.
First Kill. Pete. An ex-CIA operative is brought back on a very personal mission and finds himself pitted against his former pupil in a deadly game involving high-level CIA officials and the Russian president-elect in The November Man. Is it?
Oh, dear.
Nick, Mel, Pierce, or Bruce?
This movie sounds straight up familiar to me.
I'm not surprised. Like I said, these are mid-tier action movies.
First Kill did not. Not even
I believe me, I have saved the best title of all of these movies till last.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to say Nicolas Cage was the November Man.
Oh, I'm sorry. He was not the November Man.
Was it Pierce Brosnan?
Do you know who the November Man is?
Wait. Okay, well, yeah. I'm going to say Pierce Brosnan.
It is Pierce Brosnan.
Okay, yeah. And I was going to say that. No, because
you stole it right out of these lips, man.
No, well, I was due. It was time. Man. Okay.
All right. Pete. A former thief frantically searches for his missing daughter who has been kidnapped and locked.
It's Rob.
Is it Rob?
It's Rob.
Oh, is it Rob?
Keep going.
You stole it. Yeah, sorry, Rob. Okay,
yeah.
fine. Rob, okay, this Rob is to you. A former thief frantically searches for his missing daughter who has been kidnapped and locked in the trunk of a car in Stolen.
Again, that sounds like a Mel Gibson movie. I don't understand. Oh, my God. I'm looking at the names. I had to write. Okay. I'm going to say Nick.
It is Nicolas Cage.
Oh!
So we've had now...
Yeah, you guys were tied.
Nick, Bruce, and Pierce.
Yeah. Question is, did I throw in a curveball? Because I never said it was one of each. Or did I go straight down the line? We're going to find out now. Pete, it's last question. And the best title of all of these.
Oh, boy.
An ex-con reunites with his estranged, wayward 17-year-old daughter to protect her from drug dealers who are trying to kill her in Bloodfather.
Mel Gibson.
Yes, it's Mel Gibson.
I've never heard of it, but doesn't that just sound like a Mel Gibson movie?
And unfortunately, that means the score is tied. So really, the winner of this game is Liam Neeson.
You win.
Jeez. But you guys came back.
I'm looking at Bloodfather right now.
I'm
let me just say,
William
H. Macy and Diego Luna and Aaron Moriarty from Amazon Prime, The Boys.
The Boys?
Fantastic.
Yeah, see, I know, Rob, you did a one of these where you had fake products you made up, and I was like, I can make up fake movies. But then the more I pulled these things, I was like, I don't need to.
You don't need to.
You don't need to do anything. This is totally fine. Well done.
Crazy. Very well done. That's a great game.
That was fun putting together.
That's so fun.
Also, you want to see a parade of terrible movie posters. Woohoo!
Oh my god!
The top of graphic designers are not working on these movies. That's for sure.
Oh, I don't know. The Bloodfather. I mean, and that's got a great tagline. A father makes his own justice.
That's weird. Yeah. I have that tattooed on my back. Can you believe the Next Reel is celebrating its 10th anniversary season? Now, I know you'd love to buy us something in aluminum or aluminium for our friends in the UK, and that'd be nice, but you know what would be even nicer? If you became a member over at nextreel.com/membership. Honey, that's all I really want for our anniversary. But I know what you're thinking. What did we get you? But see, that's just it. The membership works for both of us. We get to keep making these amazing shows while you get to vote in the weekly list-making challenge. You can access shows that only members get to hear. You even get your own personalized podcast feed. But I know, you hate that monthly drain on your account, but now you can actually just drop one lump sum and have access to the cool stuff for an entire year. I know this anniversary is really about us, but I couldn't help it. I got you something. It's something small, but I think you'll like it. If you go over to nextreel.com/letterboxd, you can upgrade your Letterboxd account to Pro or Patron with a 20% off discount. And since I know you'll ask, yes, it does work on renewals. You won't believe what I'm working on for our 11th anniversary. We're talking about Johnny Dangerously, directed by Amy Heckerling. It's part of the Next Reel's current series, 80s Comedies with Coolidge and Heckerling. The options for this week's list were posted in the Show Talk channel over in Discord, and our members voted that we should talk about great visual or running gags.
Let's be very clear. It's great visual or running gags.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
That or carries a lot of water.
Big time.
Well, I think I'm going to be crossing the line a couple times. So my first one, because I had the first trailer, it's something you can really wrap your head around, something you can believe in. It's not a myth. It's not a myth. Myth. Yes. From the Muppet movie, 1979, one of my favorite running gags. Every time they say myth, Carol Kane steps out and says, yes.
I needed you to explain it. I did not remember that.
Oh, you remember that? Yeah, every time somebody said, he's like, I think he plays Telly Savalas. He brushes up against Kermit and says, go wash, you'll get warts. And he says, no, that's just a myth. He's like, a what? A myth. Yes.
That's good. I like it.
Somebody really wants to talk to my wife.
Somebody needs your wife.
Who's next? Rob, you are next.
I'm next. Okay, so I do have a theme, and my heart is dear for this actor. I had no choice, because as soon as I saw this, and I went with the visual gag side of this, there's three things that I thought of immediately. This is the first one, 1980 Airplane, and you could pick so many things. It's the automatic pilot.
Oh yes,
I always have loved that scene, and what does it? You should know what I'm talking about, but if you don't, the expression of that pilot on the inflatable, she presses the button, the pilot dies. Don't eat fish on planes, which, by the way, I got really horrible food poisoning one time on a transcontinental flight, and I ate the fish. I was sick for 3 days. It's horrible. And I didn't learn. I should have learned from this movie, but I didn't. It hits the button, it inflates, and it's like I don't know how I would describe this as the inflatable flippers you could get for your pools back in the 80s. You can still buy them, right? And it just looks silly. It's that, but he's just kind of got this like just simple expression like, I'm flying the plane. It's so wonderful. Warms my heart.
Airplane. I did not do. There are, I think, 50 of them in Airplane that you could go with the running gags.
Exactly.
I do love their running gags.
All three of us could have done.
The entire script, right?
Sure.
I'm going with one that I saw when I was a young lad, and I saw it with my aunts in the movie theater, and I laughed so hard I cried and may have peed myself a little bit. He's so stupid. He thinks the London Underground is a political movement. Don't call me stupid. I'm talking about Kevin Kline in A Fish Called Wanda. Don't you dare call me stupid.
So good. It's a great movie.
Classic movie.
All right, so I'm switching over from running gag to visual gag because you could do like Airplane, you could do 1,000 things about the visuals in this movie, but my particular one I want to focus on is numerology because I'm talking about Scott Pilgrim versus the World 2010. The way that Edgar Wright hides numbers all through the movie that tell you what's going on and what's going to happen is phenomenal. Like, you can go through and just watch because there are 7 evil X's. And so every time one's about to show up, the numbers start showing up in shirts, on signs, in the background, even on characters to tell you what's going to happen. It's so subtle and so cool. You could do a whole treatise, and I've seen many on YouTube about the visuals in Scott Pilgrim. But that's the one thing I'm focusing on. This is numbers.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
That movie. It hurts to watch. It's so good. All right.
Nicely done. Okay, so this is a movie. I'm going to continue with my Leslie Nielsen love. Pete had this actually a few years ago on the show. It's The Naked Gun. Let's just get it out of the way. 1988. And I always think of this scene, and the reason why I think of this scene because it has 2 amazing visual gags, and they are literally tied directly to one another. It's the safe sex scene with Priscilla Presley. And the reason and here's why I'm bringing it up, not just because it's amazing, it's Naked Gun. When she takes off her dress with the one pull of the arm, he pulls off his entire suit with one pull of the arm. And then he's like, I hope you practice safe sex, right? And then it goes to the wide shot and they are both encased in body condoms. And if that wasn't enough, after they then fall on top of each other on the bed, it pans out to see the full Titans body condom wrapper. Here's why. So that's it. It's amazing. When I was doing a little bit, when I wanted to look this back up and see if there's anything else to find, there is a man by the name of Mark Lemonin, who is from Brooklyn, New York. 2 years ago, he tweeted, he owns one of the props from this scene. He owns the Titans wrapper.
Oh, man.
Are you kidding? Like, if you look it up, Naked Gun, safe sex, you can look him up on Twitter. It'll come up in the images replies on this. Amazing. Way to go, Mark.
Naked Gun. Good.
Yeah.
So good.
Those guys.
I'd like to talk about Adam McKay movies.
Oh, okay.
I think Adam McKay is a fine filmmaker and a comedian, and he has written some things that I think are very, very funny. He's also written some things that are very serious. I think he demonstrates a broad range. And I think in this particular movie, taking a guy like Michael Keaton and making him repeatedly quote TLC lyrics, not knowing that he's quoting TLC lyrics, is mad straight genius. I love Chief Gene in The Other Guys. I think he's so funny, and maybe he's talked about enough. I don't think you can talk about him enough. I think he's too good. He doesn't want no scrubs. And he's also not chasing waterfalls. So, Michael Keaton, The Other Guys, Adam McKay, Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, Derek Jeter,
Samuel L. Jackson.
Good pick.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Back to the top. So completing the Zucker trifecta, we're going for way back to 1984 because one of my favorite movies that I've talked about on the show before is Top Secret. So one of the great visual gags I'm talking about in this one is they do this fun thing with perspective that nobody else does these kind of gags, and like Rob was talking about with the love scene in Naked Gun. They do a couple things in this where like they do the shot from across the room where there's like you're close on the phone and the person is across the room and the phone rings and he walks to do it, and so you assume because you're close to the phone that it's a regular sized phone, but as he approaches, nope, it's a giant phone, and he picks it up and like the entire thing is the size of him. They do it a couple of times in the movie too, and it's such a dumb gag that they worked so hard on, and it's so funny. Also in the same thing, they had Peter Cushing is standing in a bookshop using a magnifying glass, and so his eye is really big. And so they come and talk to him, and he puts the magnifying glass down, and no, his eye is just really big. It's a circle that's just a gigantic eye. So dumb, so brilliant,
awesome. I've been thinking a lot about that movie because we just watched Val.
Oh yeah,
the
I was gonna say, it ties into the movie for next in our list.
Sure does. Sure does. I'm really struggling with my next pick because you guys didn't do anything.
Rob's actually next. So if you
Rob's next. I would be cheating. I would be stealing from Rob like he stole from me during the game.
Oh, son of a. Wow, that was really good. Okay, all right, fine. I'm going to close up my Leslie Nielsen. It travels here, 1998 comedy, Wrongfully Accused.
Oh,
it is the one where it's based off The Fugitive. Yeah, okay,
Deep
and
cut.
what am I picking? Deep Cut.
That was the spoof of the One-Armed Man one, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yes,
The Fugitive. Yeah.
The Fugitive. But the scene I'm going to pick it's the play on Mission Impossible. So the first Mission Impossible movie where Tom Cruise comes down in the white room and he comes on from the ceiling and he misses everything. Leslie Nielsen's character basically gets caught up in all the coax cable and all the Ethernet cables, and he does the same exact thing. And then the gag is that stuff's falling out of his pockets and he has ridiculous things in his pockets. Like my favorite moment is he has a yo-yo and he catches the yo-yo, and then you see it like from his perspective, you see his hands and he does the whole like the cradle or whatever the yo-yo stuff is while he's hanging in this secure room from like 15 Ethernet cables. It's hilarious and it is a wonderful scene.
Awesome. I forgot that movie even existed.
Everybody has.
Wrongfully accused.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. Now, bring it home.
Now I get a chance.
Yeah.
I'm going to save it as a bonus pick because I have to. My final pick is one that I am also surprised that nobody did, because it's one of my favorites. It is such a fantastic comedy, and it stars two people that are that just finished another comedy. They've been in shows together for, it seems like, all their careers. I'm talking about Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara. This one I'm talking about Best in Show.
Oh.
Cookie, played by Catherine O'Hara, has had a lot of boyfriends. How many, you'd say? Dozens. No, hundreds. And that is the running gag. Every time as they move through the world, Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, they run into ex-boyfriends. To the final one, the guy in the studio singing, "Hey, Cookie, does this ring a bell? I'm not wearing underwear," and starts singing to the underwear, and she says, "Bulge, get out of town." I mean, I banged a lot of waitresses in my time, but you were the best. And all of this happening right in front of Eugene Levy's character. I think it's just amazing. It just keeps coming up and escalating. And that movie, that it is, one of the fantastic improvisational films, it's just legendary. It's just a great gag. And in a movie full of great gags.
Right. I say that movie is so good that I forgot that running gag. Like all the things. When I think about like the things that make me laugh, and then I remember that one, I'm like, yeah, that's also in there too. So good.
Crying.
So good.
They are so good together too. What an incredible pair.
Did you guys have any bonus ones that did not get picked?
Yes. And I will say it.
Say it.
It is both a gag and a running gag.
Oh.
Gentlemen, on your left.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I thought
on your left.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
On your left, Captain America.
So good.
Come on.
Yeah.
And the other one I had, which was a little bit closer to us, we're the Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement Logistics Division again and again and again and again through Iron Man. So I had to get a couple of Marvel ones in there.
Yeah.
I got a list of I can't. They just. There are a lot of great ones. I Want My $2.
Yeah, I thought about that one too. And then they
Biff
even do
hates
a
getting
reprise
things
of that
poured on
in
him.
Not Another Teen Movie. They do.
Yeah.
That shows up in there too.
Right. I just watched The Hateful Eight. They released the extended version on Netflix, so I watched that. And the Nailing the Door Shut, I find that funny in a movie that's otherwise not very funny. I don't know. What'd you have?
What'd you have, Rob?
I had we were talking about this before we went live, and Muppets Most Wanted. One of my favorite scenes. You were the one who told me I had to see it, and I never had. I saw it, absolutely loved it. Isn't that the one that has the plot point Berg? Like location, the sign when they're going someplace, and it's like, oh yeah, plot point Berg. That's where we are now. I love that.
I love hanging a lamp on it. The one I picked that I was super excited about, but then because it's so obscure, I couldn't actually find the clip or anything to prove what I remember. It was Ernest Goes to Camp. There's a running gag. I know, because I'm like, has that ever been mentioned on this show before? In the 10 years, there's a running gag that there's something that's running in the background, and I couldn't remember exactly what it was. I think it's a golf cart. That there's like he starts the golf cart running, and then it's like it's driving around the camp through the rest of the movie. And so like if they're like having a scene in front, and you'll just see the golf cart drive by multiple times over the course of the movie. It's just driving around. But I couldn't remember if it was a lawnmower or and I looked it up, and like YouTube is like, what's this? I don't know what you're talking about. It has like 4 clips on it. Yeah, it's just so obscure. So I didn't want to pick it because I didn't have all the information, but that was my honorable mention. All right, so as we're moving on, our next film in the 80s comedy series is one of my favorite films of all time, Real Genius, starring Val Kilmer, star of the recent documentary Val. The list for next week has already been chosen. It is Secret Rooms. So the SatMat host for next week will be coming up with their own things off of the idea of Secret Rooms. But if you want to vote in the next one, we actually have another poll going for Look Who's Talking. Look, there's Bruce Willis again. He's everywhere, man. God, you can't get rid of that guy. That poll is live. So as we mentioned earlier on, if you want to vote in the poll, you become a member, you join our Discord server, go to the Show Talk channel, and you'll see the poll there, and you get to choose what the future SatMat hosts will have to talk about.
So many polls. You can vote in everything. You can vote in what Kyle's going to wear.
That's right.
Every day.
Vote early, vote often.
Where's that one? Where's that one at? Wow. Okay, that's new. I didn't know we were doing that. Hey, speaking of which, I got to say something. For those of you you listen to
reeler for that.
Yeah. Wait. Oh, this is an amazing segue. You're not even going to believe this. I just want to say, Kyle and I, for those of you who know, we do the Marvel Movie Minute Season 3, which is right now nearing the end.
That's right.
Which I cannot believe it. It's incredible. It's been a blast. We've had so much fun. But I got to tell you, if you haven't listened before, now's the time to jump in. Mm-hmm. Some really big stuff is coming. And I'm not just saying it's not just the end of the movie. You have no idea. And I'm going to say this. I hate to say this. We have a big announcement. Mm-hmm. I don't want to spoil it, but I feel like I have to. Here it is. The Marvel Movie Minute. We're on OnlyFans.
Oh, my God.
I had this whole idea. I don't know why I did this. The other day I was thinking we should be on OnlyFans, right? Because I don't know if you heard. Apparently they're going to start editing some of the stuff that's on OnlyFans. But I went ahead and set us up. We're on there. It's onlyfans.com/3mhot. Here's a couple issues, though. It has to be the number 3 plus the letter M, because 3M was taken, and it's not hot, H-O-T. That was taken, and it's not H-O-W-T, because that was taken too. It's H-A-W-T-T. So it's 3M H-A-W-T-T.
Okay. Rob, I just got notification that we've been banned from OnlyFans for inappropriate adult content. Did you post something today?
Hey, speaking of what you're wearing, listen. I can't say this enough. I'm not going to give it away. You got to start listening to the Marvel Movie Minute because, wow, it's just incredible.
I know that, big. Like, obviously, everyone says this as their thing, but I have to say these episodes are probably my favorite episodes we've ever done of Marvel Movie Minute. This last week,
and there are 3,000 of them.
Yes. So the ones in the last week, there was a ridiculous riff that we went on in like the I think on the Thursday's episode or whatever. That's one of my favorite things I've ever done. And the ones coming up, I think these are the favorite episodes we've ever done of Marvel Movie Minute. They're really, really silly and funny and weird and shocking.
And let me just say, there's a 2-part episode coming up that actually gets split over a weekend.
That's right.
Just because that's the way the calendar fell. Yeah. I'm real sorry, because at the end of it, you're going to want to hear the next one.
You are.
Maybe even don't check your feeds until Monday so you can listen back to back. I'm just saying that might be a way to do it.
Yeah, and members already know what we're talking about.
That's right. They sure do.
To get in on the action and find out what's going on, you can join right now.
So fun.
Yeah. So thank you both for joining me for this Saturday matinee. We've had a lot of fun. Hopefully you've learned some things about Liam Neeson.
And Bruce Willis.
Have I told you about Cosmic Sin?
Enough said.